Gentlemen, very good afternoon to you, and it's another beautiful day when we come in again through the markets to see opportunities there available. And today is the first day of the week. How is your portfolio looking? A lot of pullbacks here and there, but guess what? A little bit of investigation or review of what's happening in the market so far shows that some of the pullbacks from the insurance sector is now as good as over, while some are still giving opportunities for fresh entries, right? I hope you had a great weekend. It's another beautiful time when we again look for opportunities as always. Listen, this thing is a marathon and not a sprint. I hope you are making the best decisions and the right ones at that. Never throw away your good stocks for any reason. And if you have fresh funds, maybe it's just time to get into the insurance stocks. But again, perhaps I will take my time this week to find a way to do a video on the top or the best listed insurance stocks based on their current financial performances. All right. So I pray to have that time to do that video, and hopefully I will be able to share. But yet again, a brand new week, great opportunities there for us. Whether you know it or not, every week comes with all sorts of opportunities depending on what your strategy is and how you apply yourself to it. Consistency is the name of the game. Even when you do not have investable funds, it's important to always keep an eye on the market so that you can continue to take full advantage of any bit of opportunity that comes your way, or sometimes the opportunities comes and will remain begging for a while. So just in case you don't miss out on anything, you run across an opportunity even without cash, you can still capitalize on it when you eventually run into cash. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, this is me, your wealth creation enthusiast with a passion for helping individuals and corporate organizations build their personal and corporate net worth via investing in the capital market and the money market. So, like I said, I posted something this morning, and of course, there's something about what you know. Of course, you do not go into the market without a knowledge of what you know. Harvard initially in 2018 stated that Bitcoin would rather get to a dip back to $100 per coin rather than hit 100,000. But guess what? 2025, Harvard paid over $100,000 per coin to buy $116 million worth of Bitcoin. Anytime your knowledge comes is your morning. And it's not unwise not to step into any stock or any investment because you don't know it. But whenever you understand it, then that's the time to get in, because the worst thing to happen is to get into something without having an idea. So, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I will go on to reviewing what happened in the course of last week. And after that, we take up your comments until 1 p.m. when the lines will be open on TikTok for us to take your voice calls. All right. I'd like to introduce our moderators as usual, which are members of the executive team of Net Worth Investors Club. Right. So Maobi, as usual, Rehoboth, Gratitude Boss, Oremos, they are all officials and moderators. At some point, we will get them in. I see Financial Market Queen making some interesting comments. Their coach once said, anytime your knowledge comes, it's your morning. Absolutely, that's the point. So we do not need to, and that teaches us to also be flexible. That you didn't believe in a particular stock at some point does not mean you shut the door to that stock forever. We've seen a lot of things happen in the course of almost 3 decades of my active involvement in the stock market. You will see that a stock is doing terribly badly, and in fact is understood and known for that bad performance over the years. But you know what? Change is the only thing that doesn't change at all. So eventually change comes, maybe change in management or change in management's approach to doing their business. And before you know it, the fortunes of the company changes, and then it starts making money. So this is me telling you, do not shut the door against any stock, because any day could also be their own morning. All right. So with that knowledge, we proceed to the next item on our agenda for today, which is a review of what has happened in the course of the markets last week. All right. Okay. Give me a second and I'll give you that update right away. By the way, some insurance stocks are flying back up. Some of you must have bought into mutual benefits assurance. I said it last week on Friday. That stock continues to perform. Today, we'll take a look at their financial performance and review. So, after 11 straight weeks of gains, the Nigerian All Share Index retreated in the week ended August 15th, shedding 1,126.71 points. To close in the red, the index opened at 145,754.91 points, slipped by 0.77% to finish at 144,628.2, despite a rise in trading activities. Weekly volumes improved to 8.5 billion shares traded compared with 7.7 billion shares exchanged the previous week. Market capitalization mirrored the downtrend in price, falling to 91.5 trillion naira from 92.2 trillion naira reported the previous week. Market breadth 50 equities appreciated in price during the week, lower than the 66 recorded previously. So every time you listen to business news and they are discussing stocks and you hear the word market breadth, they are trying to compare how many stocks gained versus how many lost. Usually, when the gainers are more in number, that's number of stocks that gained are more, then the market breadth is quite interesting and revealing in terms of the performances of stocks. Meanwhile, 49 equities closed lower, up from 41 in the prior week, while 47 equities remain unchanged, right? Key highlights includes MTN, Lafarge, Zenith Bank, and UBA shedding 1.64% of the entire weight of the NGX All Share Index. Okay, top gainers leading the pack was Mutual Benefits Assurance, soared 31.85% week to date, marking a standout performance. And of course, Triple G and Company followed closely with 30.23%. That's in the computer hardware sector where CWG also belongs. So that one flew under the radar. I once checked on their financials, but didn't really see much to speak on it. So I kept quiet about it. But you know, all these things happens, and then other major gainers, as expected, dominated by the insurance sector. Talking about week to date gain. Last week, Sunu Insurance gained 23%, McCall Industry gained 20%, Deep Capital gained 19.2%, Linkage Assurance gained 17.9%, Champion Breweries gained 17.6%, Guinea Insurance up by 17%, Julius Berger up by 17%, AXA Mansard up by 14%. Top losers: Berger Paints, VFD Group, Unilever, Sterling Financials, Nigerian Exchange, Honeywell, and ABC Transport. That's the much I can take regarding the weekly wrap-up. It's usually supposed to take much longer time, but we have to save time for you because I'm here for you. So we go on to your comments. Now, you know how we do it. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep giving gifts on the screen. All on-screen actions eventually gets the attention of any other person who needs the information we are sharing here. That's the way the algorithm works. And hopefully you also join in helping many more people broaden their investment acumen. That's the reason why we find a way to come here on a daily basis. So you too who is listening and sacrificing your time, you are together with me creating wealth for as many as possible that we can reach out to. Coach, talk about TIP right issue and the effect on share price. Kiddies were in Lagos. TIP is a fantastic stock, and it is not out of place for a company to decide to go into the market to generate funds. The whole idea is that's the cheapest way to generate funds to improve your business. They have various other options. They could have gone for a facility or a loan, right? And then that will be based on heavy interest rates, which is detrimental to shareholders. They could have gone for let's say commercial papers, which will also mean they will pay, of course, a reasonable interest to anybody who is investing. And then they could have also done, let's say, public offer, which could eventually bring in, give a chance to outsiders to outbid the existing shareholders, because you have to be careful in doing these things. You still need to be in control of the company. If they just go out there and do a public offer, that gives licenses to people who have so much money to dive in and maybe do a corporate takeover bid by acquiring a whole lot during the public offers. That's not what current management of TIP wants to expose themselves with to, and I'm sure I'm in support of that, because you want the original founders of the company who have this great vision and know their way around the kind of niche business they have created and carved out for themselves, to keep doing what they are doing, because they are performing very well, and only they are the best at this moment to continue to grow the business and take it to the next level. So rights issue, on the other hand, which they have settled for, means that, number one, existing shareholders get to benefit. Number two, they who are the majority shareholders can also take up their rights and sustain the percentage holdings that they have. In fact, possibly increase it over time, because some people may not be able to take up their rights and so on. But by and large, shareholders are rewarded because it should be coming at a discount. And it really doesn't matter whether or not it is cheaper in the market or via the rights. TIP is a solid growth company that, a solid value company that anybody should just buy and dump in their portfolio. So I would say, if they are doing rights and you qualify for the rights, go ahead, take up your rights. Whatever it does to the price really doesn't matter. They are doing fantastically well. This is a TIP that recorded 1 naira per share the previous year, 2024 financial year. And between then and now, they have expanded their business into so many other areas. And they are getting more contracts, by the way. So it's just the same and similar to what VFD Group did, to what UCAP did last year by giving bonus. Because when you give bonus also, you are taking up new shares given to shareholders. But that bonus shares that are given for free is actually funded from the general reserve of the company. So money is still being put down for that purpose. So this is something good not to worry about. Only a matter of time. The results they'll be turning out will eventually prove your decision to hold that stock, right? They made 1 naira per share, but they paid only about 10 kobo, right? That is to tell you also that there is going to be sufficient retained earnings, right? So it's a company well structured, trying to build, and anybody who can be patient and just stick to them, you will see the results. Basically, that's how wealth is created. It doesn't come overnight. I wonder how people just come into the stock market and feel that the stock they bought in January at 40 naira should now be selling at 80 naira. It's not by force. What makes company prices jump that way is because of the undervaluation by the market. And usually it's based on previous mindset of what the company used to be. But they wake up too late. That's why we source them out, take position, and then wait for whenever the market decides that, okay, you are now due to fly, right? So that's the way it works. For instance, I've taken a look at Dangote Cement over a while, and I am too convinced it's too cheap where it is now. When the market eventually rewards it, not my problem. But for anybody who cares to listen, well, Dangote Cement is one of those stocks that you can't buy today and have a fear that the market will collapse or the market has risen so high. There's nowhere else Dangote Cement should collapse to. Worst case, 400 and something. While it's still at 519 now, then that's a fair price to get in, because the actual value of that stock is nothing less than around 700 naira per share. All right. It's not as if I've even accumulated enough of Dangote Cement anyway. So over to you. Coach, please give us insights on an investment platform, I Invest, if we can trust the platform, sir. Tunde Raji, I Invest has been there for so long, so long. So I think they are credible, and of course, I am sure that they are licensed to do what they are doing. I Invest should be the, I don't want to mix them up with UCAP's app, but it's been long I used all those platforms. So I really don't know what's going on right now, whether they offer investment in shares through app or whatever. But I Invest, if it is the I Invest, okay, it's not UCAP's arm of investment. I Invest is by Sterling Bank. Yes, thank you very much, Clem. So their parent company, of course, is a licensed commercial bank in Nigeria, and that settles it. The next thing to just worry about is how efficient their interface is for your purpose. Very simple, right? Okay, coach, please, I want to reconfirm about Honeywell. That's from Kaka. Honeywell floor, the listing. Do you suggest I sell? Kaka, my suggestion, I don't know, unless if you need the money so bad, then you can decide to sell. I'm very certain you are in good profit, by the way. But Honeywell can spring some surprises. It behaves somehow that I have become used to. So I'm not going to be surprised if it decides to run anytime. How does it behave and what am I referring to? Usually, Honeywell will go ahead and stay docile. It will almost look like there's a sell-off going on. Then all of a sudden, it decides to run. It usually does solo runs, So that's what happens with Honeywell floor. It's been docile for a while. In fact, dropping all the way from 30 to 27, stayed long at 27, then dropped to 23 and 22 right now as we speak. But just one announcement about the conclusion of that delisting process could see the price jumping. But if you feel like you should sell, why not? Currently, bid and offer status, equilibrium 1.3, 1.3. Okay? Coach, please, is Okomu good for long-term hold? Toyo baby, absolutely. Okomu oil is a very good long-term stock, and they will continue to chase Presco. Though they are currently retreating in the last 1 or 2 weeks down from the 1,100 they got to. But usually this is the time when they try to gather steam to make the next upwards movement. Okay, so as we speak, Okomo is looking good at this entry price. Should it not drop any further below this 970 or thereabouts that it is, could sell as low as 950 something, but I don't see it dropping to 800 and something. So another chance to take up some Okomo, especially now that the stock price, the offer and bid status is very, very polarized, or let's say far apart. 1.2 million offers, which is a lot, versus 109,000 bids. So you could buy Okomo oil at 953, not a bad price. Okay, coach, please check out, is livestock a good buy? The stock hasn't moved for some time. Well, the result wasn't too encouraging, so that's why it is where it is at the moment. But anything could just change. Sometimes the first 2 quarter results are not too fantastic in some industries, or for some specific extraordinary reason, unusual one-off reason. So keep an eye and let's see how it goes. Dangote sugar suddenly jumping to 59. I hope most of you have bought at that 55 and 53 or so range. It dropped to last week. I don't know whether it's now gearing towards climbing above 60 again. So if you are there, from what I see, and this is why it doesn't make sense coming to the DM to ask how much should I buy, what should I buy. A lot of times, it's better to see opportunities appear. I may tell you of a stock that is about to just stay long in one location, whereas a quick opportunity just shows up. Dangote Sugar closed 55.95 on Friday, and there's a strong interest showing up at 59.90 already. Yes, 2.8 million bids, 1.6 million offers. It's still fresh Monday. Remember, this stock jumped to over 70 naira per share recently, right? Got to 75 per share. So we watch to see, well, someone has pushed it to 60 naira per share right now. Could there be a money bag listening to us also? I don't know. But guess what? Suddenly, the offers have dropped to just 683,000 offers. So this is a big jump. I don't know if anybody managed to buy Dangote Cement, sugar for the first time at 55.95, the closing price of Friday. Well, we wait to see how that goes. So, Coach, Charms at 2 naira 57. Is it a good buy? Now, Charms continues to go up and down, and 2 naira 60 kobo currently down from the 285. There's a whole lot of topsy-turvy performance. One day it's in full bid, the next day it's on full offer, and the price is jumping from 3 and then down to 260 and so on. I love the fact that there's a lot of activity going on there. Already 12 million shares have been traded, talking about Charms. And so 257, if you like, is a fantastic price. And if you missed that, there has been so many other bids above 257, 1.3 million bids above 257. And if you're putting in a bid now, I think that's the lowest price it can sell today. 257 down. If it drops to 257, currently 260, so you must queue behind 2.9 million bids before you can be sold to, if that's possible. And it has a tendency to swing right away. Now, I'm seeing that the offers are 14 million. This could also be a means to shake off weak hands. It happens a lot. They'll go and pile up offers, down, heavy offers that they know that nobody's going to buy at that price today. And then you will take a look at the bid and offer summary, and you'll be seeing 14 million offers versus 2.9 million bids, and then you are pushed to sell what you have, right? You'll be amazed that tomorrow it swings back the opposite way, and then it goes on full bid again. So that's the situation with Charms. If you're able to get in at 257 or 260, not bad. What stock is 257? Dr. Abisoye Ajayi. Okay, 2 naira 57 kobo. That's what I mean, Charms. Coach, can I sell my Q-Tix for tip? She lawyer. Well. I saw Q-Tix even selling above 4 naira this morning, up to 406. What? Yes, 420 in fact. So what happened is it's now 391. Okay, 2.3 million shares traded, and we are seeing, okay, I think the bids became more, and therefore the price drops, though still 1 kobo ahead of the closing price on Friday. All right, so whether you can sell it for tip, that's not a bad move actually. Tip has established some strong performance that they have also shown capability to sustain. Very important. So if that's your will, perhaps because you really need tip and there are no fresh funds to do that, then it's fine, as long as you are selling at a profit. But be informed that the price of tip may not continue to ascend as fast as we have witnessed lately. First, because It's not expected that it keeps climbing too fast. And most importantly, because the rumored rights issue is around the corner. But guess what? Should the third quarter result come out and that's also a blowout, then I see it gaining more. So for those, we do not even know yet what the qualification date is for the rights. If there's a rights issue, we will confirm. But you need tip and you want to exchange it for QTIX, not a bad move at all. Hello, coach. What's your take on CWG today? CWG for me has offered two quick opportunities to enter at below 16 because of the last 2 weeks. But it's back up to 16, having closed at 16.20 on Friday. It's now 16.30. 2.4 million bids versus 979,000 offers. So interest is building up there. And if you ask me, it's still a good price, but I love bargains a lot. So the 2 times it offered, it came down to 15.90 or thereabouts. Would have been a fantastic time. But guess what? CWG should be selling between 20 and 25. But that will take a couple of months, especially with a good quarter 3 performance. Then you will just need to wait a few months to see it fly up there. A lot of distractions are going on in the market right now, and so some stocks may not be given the due attention that they deserve. Coach, is Dangote Cement good to buy at 524? And gold, I will give you a good price to enter. I think at 520, you could still buy Dangote Cement. Okay, it's now 524. But let me check the bid and offer status. You see, there are just 7,000 bids versus 1 million offers. And that means you can even buy for as low as 520. So you may want to put in a bid at 520 per share. Will be lucky and get sold too. Coach, you are here to send the link, sir? Well, and there's nothing I can do while I'm live. And I can tell you, if you have not gotten response to your DM sent to me via Instagram, all you need to do is repeat that message, because there is a chat bot that is meant to respond quickly to you. And when you send your first message is response, it shows as though your message has been read. And so sometimes I skip in error because I feel I've attended to it, whereas I really wasn't the one. So if your message has not been responded to on Instagram, please resend repeatedly, just the same way you have been asked to do here during the live stream. No message is deliberately skipped, but these are the things that could be responsible for your message not being responded to. So when you send one and relax, it's taking 2 days, 3 days, then something has happened to it. It's either it's being overlooked because it's no longer bolded as unread, right? Good day, sir. What do you think about ETI? Woody for L. ETI, I'm not very convinced at their performance, even if the stock price has experienced some good appreciation lately. The returns have not been wonderful, honestly speaking. And I would just rather you concentrate on the best performers. Go and check the dividend history versus Zenith Bank. And now that Zenith Bank is pulling back, looks interesting. Don't be surprised before the third quarter result comes out, then it could drop as low as 65 or 68, which offers fantastic opportunities, because in the end, they will match what GT is paying and they will try to get as close to GT as possible. Meaning, while GT is at 103 or 5, Zenith should be selling for as much as 100, say 90 when that time comes. And we're talking about between now and the next 7 or 8 months. For me, that's what I think. Coach, what's the best price to buy sovereign insurance? Insurance industry continues to perform. Some of them have halted the slide. I told everyone here that this thing is in phases, and so many people actually DM'd me and talking about how they bought insurance stocks high. And I was wondering, were you not listening? Have you not been a part of this community not to chase a stock that is flying? In any case, don't sell. In this particular case of the insurance industry, it's going to happen in waves. Wave one has happened, and then the dip has happened. Now they are beginning to recover from those dips. And let me tell you the strategy of the hot money managers. Hot money, I told you before, is money that is meant for short-term trades. So they have evacuated some of their cash, but do not want to pull down everything. So it's batch one that they have sold. They will now hold on. It will start gathering steam again. They will start gaining more again before they will sell the second batch. So imagine you jumped and bought any of them as high as they got, only to see that it has now dropped. So if it has done that, you can average down and then wait for the next move, which is already happening. For instance, talking about sovereign insurance, as small as it is, having closed on Friday at 2 naira 92 kobo, it's now 3 naira 20 kobo, 16 million bids, 1.3 million offers, right? So many others. Sunu Insurance as well, having closed at 6 naira 19 on Friday, now on full bid, 6 million shares bidded for 6 naira 80 kobo per share currently. Get the point now? So that's the way it was last week. Closing at 3 naira 63. I think it was in full bid as well. But do you know what? Wapik is now on, it was on full offer. Wapik is now on full bid as well. 3 naira 99 kobo, maximum price. Otherwise, it should be heading towards 4. I remember encouraging some people to buy mutual benefits last week, having cited it at a very good price, knowing fully well that it has the favor of the market. It's like a fan's favorite. Well, that is also on full bid. 71 million shares bidded for, no offer. Up from 3 naira 85 kobo to 4 naira 23 as we speak. So if you bought last week, because after advising you, actually went and I still found mutual benefits and I bought. I was just testing the waters to see if I could buy lower later. But guess what? It's now 423. Coach, I'm waiting for Dangote Sugar at 55 naira 90 kobo. Tijani Ibrahim. The problem with that now is that that stock is now reversed and heading back up. Dangote Sugar currently 61 naira per share. So that 55.95 was the closing price on Friday. It's no longer so as we speak. Gaining massively, 2.7 million bids, 999,000 offers. Morning, coach. My mutual benefits and McNichols dividends are still unpaid. AfroInvest paid me already, but Trove was delayed for over a week despite saying I should wait. What should I do? Well, I've always advised against buying Nigerian stocks with fintech apps that are not brokers. These are the challenges you have, especially when it comes to dividend payment and so on. Now, I don't know really what you should do other than continue to pester them through their customer care handles, both on the app and on their website, and any other means possible. That's the most I think is possible. Otherwise, you could contact the registrars of those company stocks that you own, because they are the direct managers of all records of shareholders and dividend payment processes. Okay. All right. Dangote Sugar continues to sell heavily as we speak. 6 million shares traded, 370 million naira invested, 61 naira 45 kobo right now. Okay, coach, good afternoon. Please, what is the best? Sorry about that. Missed that one. Sia, too short, says, What is the best price to enter Intel today? Oh my. Okay. CRC is taking us to the international markets. As recommended last week, I remember mentioning that we should go ahead and buy Intel. Then it was at $20 per share, I think. Ticker symbol INTC. That's because the White House was talking about getting into a system of also having their shares or something like that. I've gotten the actual news. But besides that, there was actually some research I did and saw that the stock price is undervalued. You know, last week the CEO actually met with President Donald Trump. Then it jumped. So from 20, it's now 24.56. If you ask me of the best entry, that's not what it is now. Best entry would have been 19 and 20. I remember mentioning it at 20. So maybe, just maybe, you want to stay patient and see if it drops before the major news behind that particular stock. But I think the fundamentals are looking better now. That's the reason why it was recommended. If you are staying long term, just so that you don't just buy in and then it dips and stays for a while and keeps you frustrated or angry or unhappy, I would have said buy now, but no need. It just jumped. Wait for that dip back to 20 because this is not the permanent point where it gets to. Coach, can I still gather more of UHN? I guess you mean UNH. Ali Adebiyi James. Yes, UNH hasn't really gone too far. Even if there's going to be a dip, I don't see it dipping and staying too long under 300. So now that it's at 304, that's good. Oh my goodness. I'm checking now and seeing that on pre-market price, it's currently $311. Close at 304. It's now 311, looking like the 32%, I mean, the 11% gain of last week is not enough, and it's already looking towards gaining more. That stock used to be $600 per share as early as, was it April? So you imagine what's going to happen now that the world knows Warren Buffett is actually investing or has invested in that stock. Everybody believes him. It's really done badly year to date. 40% down from January till date, 40% down from 6 months ago till date. So just 5% in the last 1 month, but 19% in the last 1 day. I mean, 5 days. And then yesterday, I mean, last Friday, 11% gained out of the 19 in the last 5 days. So it's just suddenly beginning to wake up from a very terrible dip. And this news of Warren Buffett taking position helps a lot. The financials are excellent. That's one key thing. In fact, it's undervalued. And so you can still go in, obviously, especially if you are investing for the long term. Okay? Coach, what's your take on Elix? That's coming from a user with all sorts of numbers. Is it good for long term? 50-50 situation as far as Elix is concerned. Weather management manages the resources properly. It will eventually reflect in the stock price. Currently 15 naira 15 kobo per share. We've seen Elix jump from 3 naira and refusing to come down, though fluctuates sometimes back to 10 or 9 naira, which is a good price. So maybe you want to wait and see if it fluctuates again. Should they release a third quarter result and it's not looking fantastic, the market will not naturally reprice the stock. Yes. If you are not following me, you are losing money. I can assure you from the feedbacks I've gotten from those who follow me. And I've stayed just 3 weeks, some 1 month, some 6 months. 2 months, and so on. Results coming in thick and fast, very encouraging. Okay. Taribor says, good afternoon, coach. Please, what's the best app to use in holding cryptocurrency? I personally have been using Luno, Luno, Luno. It's so easy, and I've used it for over 7 years now. Luno has a blue design and a round O that looks like a fading cycle. So search for it on Play Store and iOS, and you should be able to find it. Luno, very easy to use because you convert Naira, so you can transfer Naira from your Naira account into the app, then convert to USD and buy those coins. Okay. 17 minutes from now, the phone lines will be open on TikTok for us to take your comments. Coach, kindly help us discuss on treasury bills, fixed deposit, commercial papers, and bonds. Tunde Raji, all of that at a go. Okay, I'll keep it brief. For the purpose of our academic or learning or knowledge session, I'll go ahead with treasury bills. Treasury bills and bonds are fixed income instruments issued by the federal government for meeting short-term and long-term budget deficits and project funding needs, right? So for treasury bills, it takes a maximum of 365 days tenor. So there could be 90 days, there could be 180 days, and there could be 365 days tenor. That's how long whatever you are investing will last before the resources you put in, capital you put in, comes to you. So treasury bills works this way. Throughout the tenor of the investment, the money is with the government. That's what happens. You are lending to the government. Then at an agreed interest rate, during the offer for treasury bills, you will see those details. If you are happy with the annual interest rate, then you put in the money. The beautiful thing about treasury bills is you get to be paid upfront. So that interest that is due you comes to you 24 hours after you invest. Your capital now stays with the government until the tenor elapses, and then your original capital returns to you. The difference with it and bonds is that even though it's still the government that pays, that you are lending to, bonds have longer tenors. So most recently there is, I think that was during the Buhari's government, there was the FGN savings bond introduced to also encourage civil servants who earn less to invest. Bonds used to be at a minimum capital entry price of 50 million, right? So you have 2-3 year tenor for the FGN savings bond, and then for the long-term bonds, you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25-year bonds. Those, because the time is longer, comes with also higher interest rates. Okay, so for those long-term bonds, the interest, your interest due you, which technically in terms of bond, it's called coupon. So don't be confused when you hear coupon. This knowledge session is meant to make you understand some of these things that you don't get to see on social media posts or contents. So your coupon drops every 6 months throughout the tenor of your investment. That's the way bonds works. But for the savings bonds, they made it in such a way that your coupons drops every 3 months. So if you one investment in federal government savings bond, the full year interest is divided into 4 parts. And every 3 months, one part is dropping for you for the entire tenor of the bonds. And then at the end of the tenor also, your capital returns to you. What makes bonds very interesting is if you have huge sums of money Now work out that now so you can understand that you do not want to waste. You are not worried whether it's going to be affected by devaluation or inflation. Then you put in that money in a high yield long term bond. Bond rate used to be as high as 25% when the Buhari government was in power, the first tenure, because that time the government really needed a lot of money to do a lot of things, and so they encouraged borrowing. Um, they encouraged borrowing from the public and any other means. And so bond rates were as high as 25%. Then it came low, came down to 23, 22. Currently, it's about 17 and 18 these days, right? So let's assume 20% just for academic purpose. So you have 500 million. And then at 20% per annum, that's 100 million naira per annum. Every year, your 500 million naira will fetch you 100 million naira in returns. If I'm not mistaken my numbers, let me do it again. 500 million, right? 20% of it, 100 million, because 10% is 50 million. So every year, you are getting 100 million naira from this investment. But the 100 million naira, they will divide it into two parts. 50 million every 6 months. So every 6 months from when you drop that 500 million at 20% interest rate for 10-year tenor, for instance, that's 100 million every year. So every 6 months, 50 million will drop in your account. Go and do whatever you like. Another 50 million after 6 months. Go and do whatever you like. So for 10 years, you receive 100 million naira 10 times. 100 million times 10 is how much? 1 billion. So in the course of 10 whole years of lending 500 million to the government, total interest you would have received through that 10 years is 1 billion. Then at the end of the 10 years, your 500 million you gave to the government will now return to you. Neat. And the beautiful thing about treasury bills and bonds is that it is tax exempt. You lend it to the government, they shouldn't tax you on your income. So all those coupons talking about the interest that you earn, not a dime is taxed, completely tax free. So that's why I worry when I see politicians, sports stars, music industry stars make a lot of money, blow it, and then back to square one after 5, 10 years. And then you see them suffering the rest of their life. For what reason will you go through that stress when you could have put money repeatedly into investments like no stress, no quarrel, certain returns on your investment, and that's it? I hope somebody's getting something. That's why for bonds, the bigger the merrier. But if you have 100,000, 1 million, it won't hold much. Okay? Even if you don't go in with 500 million, 100 million at 20%, that's 20 million. Neat. Every year, 20 million. And then you do that for 10 years. And some bonds are up to 15-year tenors. So what we did for 10 years, check how much you will get for 15 years of whatever you put in. And that's talking about retirees who have so much bulk money, they don't want to risk nothing. They are tired of struggles. They just want regular cash flow. And that's it. Neat. Maybe I should do a video about this again, but I've done these things severally. And you never know. A lot of people are suffering from ignorance, and it's really terrible. That's why we come in every day. Later on, this daily session will eventually metamorphose into thrice a week session. But for now, we really need more people to get out of these things, because it's not about how much money you make, it's about what you do with what you earn. Is that okay? I know I've not finished that particular question asked, but a lot of things have now overtaken it again. A lot of things have jumped, and now I can't see where we were. But I was explaining bonds and treasury bills. Mutual funds are offered by financial house based on whatever terms that they render. But you know what? That's a bit riskier, because if the financial services company goes under, the money is gone. But governments don't go under, even in a situation of war. That's why there's no history of default when it comes to bonds, payments, and performance. No history of default as far as bonds are concerned. So when we make a whole lot of money, don't sit down there and continue to look for risks to take. Move a huge portion of that into bonds. Keep it there. Forget about the argument of inflation, devaluation. People giving that argument do not have that amount of money, so they can complain. So what should you do? That's the question. Because even if you go into any kind of business, you can still run into losses. So the biggest security you can have for yourself when the money is that much is to put it in bonds. And then you just move with ease. That's where you now buy private jet. All right, coach, please, which stocks to buy today for a short term? Agbo, Empress. I don't do short term recommendations. I only do stocks that I know have potentials. How quickly they respond is up to the market to decide, because no one can time the market. The market has a mind of its own, and I call him Mr. Market. He decides what happens next. Okay? But if you are looking for opportunities in the market, if we go through based on what has happened lately, then we can discuss a few stocks here and there. I've repeatedly cited UACN, now down to 73 naira 50 kobo. Good price. I have repeatedly mentioned, and I don't care how small the money is. The important thing is to grow the money, right? Okay, let me finish with this. Dangote Cement, I've repeatedly mentioned, 524 naira. Many people don't remember that this Dangote Cement used to be at 400 and something for a long time. So it's climbed up to 500, tried to reach 550, and now pushed back. And there are a lot of supplies at the moment, which perhaps may be the reason why it's not progressing beyond 550 and continues to close at 577, because the intraday price, not a 100,000 shares block transaction, has been done at the lowest prices it sells for. Okay, so understand these details. And basically, the entire market is now staying sluggish because of what has happened with the insurance companies. And so attention is still there though. Then we go on to TIP. TIP has dropped to 13 from 1370. It means if there's a rice issue coming up, it could sell as low as 12. Now, all of this, anything you are buying now, should be based on the fact that you are anticipating a greater performance in terms of the third quarter result that will soon be released. Okay? So, I don't know how much you have, but I think I've mentioned some reasonable number of stocks to look at. Every other stock may just be overpriced and may just be close to a pullback. You never know. So I'm going to limit myself. I used to mention Dangote Sugar up till last week. 55 naira 95 kobo last week, now 61. Should I continue to mention it? I don't know. Maybe there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so sorry about the mix-up. I think there has been a switch in connection, and now we can proceed. Apologies for everyone connected on Instagram for the loss of sound. And I think it's better now, so we can make progress. All right, on to the next caller, Larry Best. I'm bringing up the first four callers on the queue. Larry Best. Yinka, Princess Owari, and Peter Ume. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Tell us your name and where you're streaming from.
Yeah, hello. My name is Tunde. I'm streaming from Lagos, Nigeria.
Hey, Inde from Lagos. Thank you for joining. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I just wanted to put something by you. So currently, or previously, I bought an IDF stock, and right now they've already shared like the dividend, but the price has been more or less like stable for a while now, and I'm thinking of maybe whether it's a good idea to like sell it off, buy something else for now, maybe till the next time that it's time for dividends, or close to maybe a month to the next dividend payout. Or maybe I should just buy more of it and keep it long term. And then maybe two other stock I could add to my portfolio, at least for this month.
Okay. The fact that NIDF has not really been volatile enough for price appreciation does not necessarily mean it will never move. So there's a risk of missing out when it does if you are not in it, but a tiny bit of risk because the market is beginning to get used to the fact that it doesn't really move. You say you want to sell and buy back before the next dividend. We're talking of selling now in August and buying at the end of September or first week of October because by October mid, the third quarter result and dividend would have been announced. So it's up to you to time it that perfectly in order to jump out, buy something else, and then jump back in. The question is if you want to buy back an idea, how sure are you that what you want to sell to buy back will still be in profit, would have given you that appreciation in your capital invested? The ball is in your court to also decide, look, you know what, I'm going to stay on and invest more in it so that I qualify for more dividends when they pay in October. Then I reinvest that quarterly cash flow from dividend, which you can now deploy to any other stock at time. Okay, I think that's my advice and that sorts it out. Hello, Princess Owari. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. But we will stay on. Hello, are you there? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Coach.
Next on the line is, yes, good afternoon. Sorry for the mix up. Let's go ahead. Your
Coach, my name is Princess Owari. I'm streaming from Abuja.
Princess Owari from Abuja. Thank you very
Yes, sir.
much for joining. Go ahead.
Please, Coach, I want you to help me mention one of the stock about health for me to buy and put in my portfolio.
Stocks about health.
Yes, sir.
How do you mean Nigerian stocks
About pharmacy, that
that
is about
operates in the
pharmacy.
health?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see. Pharmaceutical companies
Yes, sir.
listed
A
on the
good one,
stock
sir.
exchange, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, we have Name It Pharmaceuticals and Feedsin Healthcare Industry PLC. Those are the two key pharmaceutical companies, and that's because most of the foreign pharmaceutical companies have been delisted from the exchange and have left. So those are the two that we have now. Nemet still has some work to do in terms of their finances. Feedsin is the leading indigenous pharmaceutical company quoted on the stock exchange. You may decide to accumulate Feedsin, or you may also want to have the both of them. Since there are not too many, they will continue to make you money over time.
Okay, sir. God bless you, sir. Thank you,
That's
sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
God bless you. Thank you very much. All right, please keep your environment quiet and make sure there is no noise around you as I get some more callers up. General Ray, you are next. And Benja, and then Success D follows. I am giving you pre-information before bringing you on so that you prepare to keep your environment quiet. If your environment is noisy, I'm sorry, the call will be terminated. Okay, May and Baker is also one of the pharmaceutical companies that you can invest in, currently listed on the stock exchange, and they are really doing well. May and Baker, in fact, May and Baker is better than Name It anytime, any day, based on their fundamentals. So after Finson, I'll rate May and Baker higher than Name It. Okay, Mercure is also in the pharmaceutical industry. Yes, that's true. Because of where they are listed, I always forget them when. Ray, are you there? Okay, we seem to be having very serious network challenges. All three Wi-Fi connections are giving issues. We don't understand why this continues to be the case, but we will not give up. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Coach. Good afternoon, and good
Okay,
afternoon to everyone. We coach.
good
Okay, good.
afternoon. Please tell us your name and where you're streaming from.
Okay, so my name
Loud and
is
clear.
Raymond. Okay, good. My name is Raymond. I'm streaming from the UK. Mine is not a question, but an encouragement to all of
Raymond from
us,
UK,
to some of
thank you
us
for
who,
joining. Go
to
ahead.
some of us who are still on the journey or who are just about to start the journey. Okay, I think I'm about the
Mhm.
it's been both. I've had both sides. I've had the losses and I've had also the gains. So I think I have a bit of testimony to give, which is very profitable in terms of. I know when charms were. I got charms at a very, 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 very. I say cheap, but I think I went into charms when it was quite low, and it rose up to 3 naira, and then I even went as far as. I think I got charms when it was 1 naira 90 kobo, thereabout 1 naira 95. Even when he did 3 naira plus, I was so marveled. I was like, it did happen for stock. Same also with Qtix, and tip was the biggest gainer for me because I got into tip at 5 naira, and when it grew to 10 and up to 12, I was like, wow, am I not going to pitch my tents in this community? And since then, I've been very, very steadfast. Every other day, I try to make sure I follow up. I'm just giving those instances because there are several others. There are several others that are giving me at least 30, 20, 40% at least. And so I'm just here to say thank you for your assistance. Thank you for your guidance. And to our moderators also, who are also doing a very good job on the platform, on the Discord platform. Thank you all for your swift response. Thank you, and God bless you, Coach.
Thank you so much, even for finding the time to share this. Really appreciate that. You could have as well kept quiet about it, and nobody would have been actually impacted. But you know what? Coming to share is another blessing to us and everyone else who is listening and who is going to be inspired. Our desire is for you to keep winning, and I know the longer you stay in the market, the more your rewards. Thank you so much, Ray.
Thank you, Coach. God bless us.
Appreciate. Even with the troubled network, we were able to hear this. Thank you. Bye for now. Okay, next caller. Success D. Do we have Success D on the line? Coach, please, what stocks pays dividends in December and January? Sir, good afternoon. Tell us your name and where you're streaming from. December, no stock pays dividend. Then January, we have NIDF paying the fourth quarter dividend in January. Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Success, and I'm streaming from Lagos. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you, and
Success,
to
thank you. Go ahead.
Mr. Mubad, because he always respond on the Maobi on the discount group. Because when you recommend tip, you at the rate of 3 naira, that is when I jump in. And most of the stock that I even 3 naira. Most of the stocks you recommend, they are doing well. Like I don't even have any minus on my portfolio. I sold my tip. Yeah, I sold my tip of reason because I needed money. So now I want to buy the tip back again. So I'm not. I want to ask that what is the best price to jump in?
Tip. Well, for a stock like that, any price you find it may just be okay, especially now that we're hearing about dividend, rights issue. Currently, it should be selling below 13. So if you see it at below 13, fine. Qualification date for the rights, we don't know. Otherwise, you wait and see what happens during the rights issue, because the price of the rights issue will determine whether it continues to rise or stagnates or even drops. So when the time comes, if the rights price is too low, right? So you want to wait and see what happens during the rights. Otherwise, anything under 13 for now, but it could just drop below that during the rights. We just can't tell. Sometimes it could just keep rising based on what people hear about during the rights as well about what they plan to do. It could just climb. So maybe you should buy them in bits. Under 13, you buy some, you wait and see if it goes low so you can buy more.
All right.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that is okay. Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate your time, sir.
Okay, I've not even been able to check. Olugbenga is saying qualification date was 1st of August for the rights offer. So we'll wait to see how that pans out. 1st of August, yes. PL is also confirming that. All right, thank you. Okay, we go on to the next caller, and that will be Ernest Igugu. So let's see how we connect with Ernest. The next one being a serious challenge at this point, but we'll see how.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Loud and clear. Tell us your name and where you're streaming from.
Sir? Oh, sorry. My name is NS, streaming from U.S. I think I saw your started to follow on Instagram. I even sent a request to join the club. Um, I've been watching all your videos, especially on YouTube's, and I want to say I'm very, very grateful. You give out your information. These are what people are paying, thousands of naira for. You are giving it for free. I appreciate it. God bless you, really, sir. This morning, I'm thinking about jumping into Sterling. What's your recommendation? Sterling Bank, I mean.
Okay, we lost you somewhere along the line. And we are Nigerians. We don't back off from a fight. Hello, Ernest. Would you repeat
Hello,
if
sir.
you can hear me? We lost your voice.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. I started by appreciating you for your good work. What people pay so much for, you giving it for free. I'm thinking about grabbing some Sterling Bank share this morning. I just want you to look at it and give me a possible recommendation. Thank you, sir.
Sterling Bank, if it has not dropped, if it is around between 6 and 7, not bad, but you have to stay put for the long term.
Okay, sir. Thank you so
Okay,
much, sir. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Ahead in my YouTube brokerage account so you can proceed to invest. Please, a good time to buy Owando shares. Just one news could come up to maybe raise the price, or third quarter result comes out, looks good, then it will go higher than it is. Build for you says, I'm new here, sir. I need dividend paying stocks from which I can be paying my mother every month. There is no monthly dividend paying stocks on the NGX. Best, most frequent dividend paying stocks are two of them, Seplat and NIDF. They pay quarterly every 3 months. Okay? While we are waiting to hear from Eugene, Reviewed and Rice says, I'm having challenges filling out my chance rights issue form. Okay, you may want to contact Atlas Portfolios, I guess. Hello, Eugene. Good afternoon. JA says, can I ramp up on Name It and Royalex? Well, Royalex, very sure. Name It, not too sure. As I can't, at the moment, connect to see. Hello, Eugene. Good afternoon. Don't fetch sufficient Dangote Cement. Wala Beke said you were going to respond to my question when the network ceased, so I didn't get what your response was to my question. Well, Wala Beke, you could have used this opportunity to have rewritten the question, because now I'm even lost what the question was. But if I see it, I'll remember what my response was. Eugene, are you there? If we are not connecting with Eugene, then we'll go ahead to the next caller. Ada Daniel. Is Fidelity good for dividend? Someone was asking there. It looks like that message has been jumped. Should I buy Fidelity stock now or November? Build for you. You can actually buy now, because buying now qualifies you for the interim dividend to be paid in October. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Tell us your name and where you're streaming from.
My name now is no more Ada Otache. You're always calling me on Instagram. Like my name on Instagram is Ada Otache, so that you can remember me. Yes.
Okay.
I want to appreciate you so much. Good afternoon, sir. I'm so excited that you picked me this afternoon.
Wonderful. Very good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
It's okay. It's your lucky day. If we
Yes, sir. Could you believe that
go
I've
ahead.
not heard about stock before? I don't even know anything about stock market until I came
Mhm.
across one of your videos on Instagram and I started listening to you. Then I said, okay, I had Bamboo. I downloaded Bamboo since Big Brother time. I had it in my phone since, but I didn't know how to use it. Been a while I downloaded it. So I had to go back and start searching the stocks you were calling and all. Could you believe that I'm reading? You can't believe what my portfolio is reading, coach. That is why I
I
say
can't
that the day
believe,
that
my
I saw
God,
you can't believe. When
honestly.
I don't even know what stuff was until I met your video. You are doing so much for us, coach. I just called to say
Wow.
thank
Wonderful.
you. I appreciate you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Really appreciate
Thank you, sir.
that they catch it. So there are so many like Ada on TikTok. But that's what happens. You see that? The excitement is a confirmation that she belongs. And it means it's also a sign. If you are excited about what we are not meant to be poor, it's with the kind of thing going on, the kind of things that excite people are so vast, so different, so completely a lot of times never meant to even empower them, not to talk of make them wealthy. That's what excites people. Somebody shaking bomb bomb somewhere, doing one funny thing or the other, and gathering followers left, right, and center. It's not a problem. But if what is happening here, as boring as it is, so I would like you to stick on, and it doesn't matter whether whatever. And you know, today's wealth list has no respect sex or gender, if you like. So just stick by, get on with what is going on, guard your portfolio, found a place where your wealth is not now going to be no amount of witches can stop you from building the kind of wealth. United doesn't matter whether you have hit your first 500,000 or not, or 1 million or not. Next, is a nice color.
So, if you can hear me, Coach, I'll just go ahead.
This is actually my first time doing any live on TikTok, as strange as it sounds. So I was even just trying to navigate because I knew I wanted to, or I had to speak to you. I just came across um, your I think it was your posts on Instagram, and I went through your page, I went through your Twitter, also went through YouTube, got so much um, enlightenment basically about the stock market, especially Nigerian stocks. I had dabbled sometime. Hello, coach, can you hear me? Hello, coach. Hello. Gosh, network is so bad. Okay, okay. So I see that we can hear. All right. So basically, I was quite excited about learning about Nigerian stocks and also even the American stock market. I had an encounter with bamboo. I had a little experience, but still needed some kind of coaching because you it was quite difficult trying to know what stocks to delve into and all of that. But anyways, I really do appreciate the videos that you've been putting out there and also the content that you've been putting out there across several platforms. So coach, I had a request. Although I can't hear you, but I know I would still get to watch the video later on YouTube to know your picks and the pointers that you would give. I saw on Instagram that you gave you picked out two companies in the American Stock Exchange, and also you picked out one, Dangote Cement and also Dangote Sugar. So I wanted to know if, for someone who's looking to invest in and until December, I wanted to know if the both of them, that's Dangote and sorry, Dangote and MTN, basically Dangote Cement and MTN, if they're still good to go into, and also if bullish and OPPFI for the stock exchange, if they're also worthy to go into for the same period of time. If you can hear me, coach, thank you.
you very I will go. Okay, we quickly go ahead to hear from Mesoma Blessing. Hello, good afternoon. You just quickly, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, Mesoma's environment is noisy. We can't take that. So we go on to Jacob Folari. Let's see how we connect with Jacob Folari while I look forward to any other comments. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Ope Faro says, or tip based on the fact you are looking at 200K. Tip is doing rights issue, makes it dicey. 200K can't get too much. So go with UACN. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. For whatever reason, or we will not relent. In case you called it an error, we'll go on to the next caller, Financial Markets Queen. Hello, good afternoon. Keep the comments coming in as I manage to respond. Hello, coach. Please advise me what stocks can I go for with just 100K? Well. You can go for a stock like, I can't take my eyes off UACN. Coach, which of these stocks can I top up? Charms, QTix, and Tip. Wow, quite dicey. Go with Charms. Tip, you are going to be getting some of the rights issue. So that's fine. Go with Charms then. 4 minutes before we round off, let's see who can get on board. Gift. Baba Gift. If you are there, let's see how it goes. Coach, I didn't get your take on bullish and OPFI. Okay, I said for bullish, you may want to hold on. It just got listed. It could slow down a bit before jumping. And so we're not too sure of that December target. But for OPFI, that's a swing trade that could give you returns, especially knowing that we're about that entry price range I gave in that my post. Hello, Baba Gift. Good afternoon. Baba Gift, are you there? Good afternoon. Okay. We have 3 minutes to go. Let's see who gets this last call. Valin, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, Coach. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please tell us your name and where you're streaming
Okay,
from.
my name is Uday Valentine. I'm streaming from Owerri. Firstly, I want to
Valentine, thank you for
yeah.
joining.
Firstly, I want to appreciate you for the good works you've been doing. I joined this platform sometime around April, and I can tell you right now that I've made over 100% of what I have in my portfolio, and I just want to
Whoa.
thank you for everything.